Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we are going to learn about the poem The Education of Nature by William Wordsworth. Before we start learning the poem, let us know a brief about the poet himself, William Wordsworth. He was born in the year 1770 and died in the year 1870. He was considered to be a famous English poet. He is well known for his poem Daffodils and best known for his lyrical ballads, a joint publication with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who was a very close friend to him. Now, let us talk about the title, The Education of Nature, or 3 years she grew in sun and shower. Now, in the title, we know that there is one person the poet has included, that is she. She here is considered to be Lucy. Now actually this poem is one of those 5 collective poem which we call Lucy poem. We don't know the reason why William Wordsworth has particularly mentioned the collection of poem as Lucy poem, but Wordsworth is presented Lucy to be the presentation of an ideal lady, and Lucy has become Wordsworth's inspiration. Now in this poem, he has mentioned 3 years, a particular timing which we can think that this poem is a kind of an elegy. Indeed, it is an elegy. Now you may ask me, what is an elegy? An elegy is a mournful poem, usually written in remembrance of a lost one for a funeral or as a lament. It tells the tragic story of an individual or an individual's loss. It consists of 3 parts: grief, praise of the deceased one, and consolation. The entire poem is about how nature takes up the responsibility of educating Lucy. It revolves around the topic of molding the child and composes of activities for transforming the child into a beautiful lady. Hence, the title is appropriate. The title of the poem is appropriate. First stanza. 3 years she grew in sun and shower. Then nature said, a lovelier flower on earth was never sown. This child I to myself will take, she shall be mine, and I will make a lady of my own. Now in the first stanza, the poet says that from the day Lucy was born till the day she was 3 years old, she grew under the light and the heat of the sun and the showers of the soft summer rain. Then Mother Nature said to her that there was no other flower lovelier than Lucy that has ever been sown on earth. Here Lucy is compared to a flower because of her beauty and the natural way in which she was bred in. So Mother Nature plans on taking over the child and to treat her like her own. Okay, she takes full charge of Lucy, and she also plans on to transform her into a fine young lady, to transform her into a respectful, ideal lady. Now the second stanza. Myself will to my darling be both law and impulse, and with me the girl, in rock and plain, in earth and heaven, in glade and bower, she shall feel an overseeing power to kindle or restrain. Now, Mother Nature decides to take full charge of Lucy's life and well-being, and would educate her according to nature's own way. Nature would be to Lucy a source of inspiration for both law, or the rules of nature, and impulse, or the inspiring emotions. In other words, nature will keep a check on Lucy and prevent her from going on wrong ways and would encourage her to do the right things. With her, or with nature, okay, Lucy would learn about the secrets of the mountains and plains, the wisdom of heavens and earth. In glades, a clear open space, bower, a shady place under trees. Okay, in fact, all these places represent that Lucy will gain full freedom and would be able to live, in a free atmosphere. Now, while she is in the free atmosphere, she would feel like a divine power is always with her, okay, which inspires and control her. Thus, Lucy, or she, will be both disciplined and inspired. Now the third stanza. She shall be sportive as the fawn that while with glee across the lawn or up the mountain springs, and hers shall be the breathing balm, and hers the silence and the calm of mute insensate things. Now in the third stanza, he describes that Lucy would be playful and merry, like a young deer, as the fawn, he said, as the fawn. So he describes that Lucy would be playful and merry like a young deer, with that wild and tameless joy. Okay? She will be full of energy to go high up as the water spring on top of the mountain, a source of a river. Lucy would have that gentle wind that would act as a soothing and healing balm for her wounds. The various objects of nature, such as the water bodies and the mountains and the trees, are full of peace and quietness. So she would also learn to be silent and calm with the silent, inanimate, or the non-living objects of nature. Now let's move to the fourth stanza. The floating clouds their state shall lend to her, for her the willow bend, nor shall she fail to see, even in the motions of the storm, grace that shall mold the maiden's form by silent sympathy. Here, the silent flowing clouds that pass by would lend their dignity to her. Okay, she will learn from the slow movements of the clouds the art of remaining calm, and the art of remaining calm in tough situations. For her, the willow trees, it is a type of tree, the willow trees would bend, refers to the fact that Lucy would learn respect and politeness from the bending branches of the willow. Even in the strong movement of the storm, which refers to the power and gracefulness, she would learn to be powerful and graceful like the storm, at the same time in the tough situations. Thus, in silence, without Lucy being conscious of it, she would ultimately be molded into a fine young lady.